As the years go by, our bodies change, and with them, our care needs change. Among the organs that feel the impact of time the most is the heart. Strong, dedicated, tireless, but still sensitive to the choices we make every day. And among those choices, few are as powerful as what we put on our plates. If you are over 60 and have heard someone in your family talk about high blood pressure, heart attacks, cholesterol, or even heart surgery, this video was made with love for you because yes, there is a possible way to protect your heart, and it starts with food. Today, we're going to talk in a clear and welcoming way about foods that help keep your heart healthy in old age. No complicated recipes or difficult theories. We're going to show you how small changes in your diet can bring big results, with practical examples, simple recipes, and guidelines that you can apply today. This video is an invitation to transform caring for your heart into a daily and tasty gesture. We will talk about good fats, powerful fibers, natural seasonings, and also foods that are worth avoiding. You will understand the reasons for each choice and how it can make a real difference in your life. And before we begin, an important reminder, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This way, you can be sure that you will receive more content designed especially for your health and well-being. Now, let's understand why the heart ages more fragilely and what we can do to help it beat stronger for many years to come. Aging and the heart. What changes over time? The heart is an incredibly resilient organ. It starts beating long before we are born and continues its work non-stop for decades. But as the years go by, it also feels the weight of age. Understanding these changes is the first step to learning how to take better care of it. As we age, our arteries, which act as the main highways through which blood circulates, tend to lose their elasticity. This means that blood has more difficulty passing through, requiring more effort from the heart to pump. This natural process can result in high blood pressure, a silent but dangerous condition that affects millions of older people around the world. Another important point is the accumulation of fatty plaques on the walls of the arteries, which doctors call atherosclerosis. This accumulation makes it even harder for blood to pass through and can lead to serious events, such as a heart attack or stroke. If there is a family history of heart disease, this risk becomes even greater, so extra care must be taken. Additionally, the rhythm of the heartbeat can become irregular over time. Arrhythmias are common in old age and are often linked to factors that can be controlled with healthy habits, including diet. There is also a natural decline in the heart's ability to pump blood throughout the body. This can cause fatigue more quickly, shortness of breath during simple activities, and even swelling in the legs. These symptoms, which sometimes seem like a part of aging, can be signs that the heart needs help. But here's the good news. These changes don't have to mean illness. They just mean that your body is changing and that the way you take care of it needs to evolve as well. And one of the most effective, one least invasive ways to take care of yourself is your diet. A proper diet acts as a real support for the aging heart. It helps keep blood vessels healthier, controls cholesterol and blood pressure levels, and reduces inflammation that can accelerate cardiovascular wear. The right foods can prevent plaque from forming in your arteries, keep your blood flowing smoothly, and even regulate your heart rate. It's as if food were transformed into a natural medicine with no side effects and full of flavor. Understanding this is essential because many older adults believe that heart damage is inevitable or can only be treated with medication. The reality is that what you eat on a daily basis can be just as important as the medications your doctor prescribes. Of course, this is not a substitute for medical treatment, but it works as a complementary and powerful tool. And the best part, it's in your hands every day on your plate. Now that we understand how the heart changes with age, it's time to learn about the foods that can strengthen this valuable organ. Let's start with the ones that many people have heard of, but perhaps don't yet know how to include in their daily diet. Good fats. Good fats, olive oil, fish and nuts on your plate. For a long time, the word fat was seen as a health villain, but the truth is that not all fats are bad, and some of them are even essential for the proper functioning of the heart. The secret is knowing which ones to choose and how to use them in your daily life. So-called good fats, such as monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, have a protective effect on the cardiovascular system. They help reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, increase good cholesterol, HDL, and reduce inflammation in the body, which prevents clogged arteries. Let's start with a classic from the Mediterranean diet, extra virgin olive oil. Rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, olive oil acts as a true protector of the arteries. Just a tablespoon a day already offers real benefits. You can use it in salads, on top of cooked vegetables, or even to finish ready-made dishes. And here's a practical tip: try making a simple olive oil and herb sauce by blending a spoonful of olive oil, lemon juice, a small clove of garlic, basil leaves, and a pinch of oregano in a blender. In just a few minutes, you'll have a tasty and healthy dressing to replace industrial sauces. Another powerful group is fish rich in omega-3, such as salmon, sardines, tuna, and mackerel. Omega-3 has anti-inflammatory action and helps keep blood vessels flexible, in addition to regulating heartbeats. For those with a family history of heart problems, including these fish at least twice a week can make a big difference. An affordable and flavorful option is pan-fried sardines. Sautéed with onion, tomato, olive oil, and a touch of lemon, it becomes a nutritious and heart-healthy meal. And if you prefer, you can use the canned version as long as it is in water or olive oil and is low in sodium. And let's not forget about oil seeds, such as walnuts, chestnuts, almonds, and flax and chia seeds. These small portions of good fat are true allies of the heart. In addition to being rich in fiber and antioxidants, they help control blood pressure and stabilize blood sugar levels. You can add a spoonful of flax or chia seeds to your yogurt, juice, or even cooked rice. Nuts and chestnuts are great snack options between meals, but be careful. Because they are high in calories, it is best to consume them in moderation. A handful a day is enough. These good fats also help with the absorption of vitamins that are important for the heart, such as vitamins A, D, E, and K. In other words, when you use olive oil or eat nuts with a salad, for example, your body can make better use of the nutrients present in the vegetables. And do you know what's even more interesting? In addition to protecting your heart, these foods also contribute to brain health, which is essential in old age. In other words, you take care of your heart and mind at the same time. If your diet is still based on margarine, fried foods, fatty meats, and processed meats, it's worth starting to make changes little by little. Replace butter with olive oil, swap an ultra-processed snack for nuts, and include fish in your weekly lunch. These small changes can have a big impact in the medium and long term. And of course, all of this must be done within your reality, respecting your taste and your routine. The most important thing is to take the first step and remain consistent. After all, your body appreciates each choice, and your heart even more so. Also, if you like these practical and straightforward tips, don't forget to like the video. This helps us to continue creating content made especially for you. Now that we've talked about good fats, it's time to learn about another group of foods that are essential for your heart: fiber. Fiber is like the blood's natural cleaners and works every day to keep your arteries clean and your heart strong. Let's find out how to use it to our advantage. Fiber to cleanse the blood, allies of the intestine and the heart. Imagine something you eat that silently cleans excess fat from your blood. It may seem like magic, but this is exactly what fiber does, especially soluble fiber, to help you take care of your heart. For the elderly, it is even more important as it helps regulate not only cholesterol, but also the intestines and blood sugar levels. Fibers are natural components of plant foods that are not digested by our bodies, but have valuable functions throughout the digestive system. They come in two types: soluble and insoluble. Soluble fibers, found in oats, apples with skin, carrots, and legumes such as beans, form a gel in the intestine that retains bad cholesterol and prevents its absorption. Insoluble fibers, found in foods such as wheat, bran, brown rice, and raw vegetables, improve intestinal transit. For the heart, the most important fibers are soluble fibers. They act as natural cleaners, absorbing some of the fat and sugar that would otherwise be carried into the bloodstream. By consuming more fiber, you help your body maintain healthy cholesterol and glucose levels, two direct risk factors for heart disease. Furthermore, fiber increases the feeling of satiety, which is great for those who need to control their weight, another essential factor for cardiovascular health. And it also promotes the growth of good bacteria in the intestine, which helps to reduce inflammatory processes in the body. A good example of a high fiber breakfast would be a bowl of oatmeal with chopped banana and cinnamon, accompanied by a slice of whole wheat bread with cottage cheese. Simple, affordable, and heart protective. For lunch, your plate can include brown rice, beans, and sautéed vegetables, such as carrots and broccoli. This trio provides a powerful combination of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. And if you want to boost it even more, you can add flax or chia seeds on top of the salad. It is important to remember that increasing your fiber intake should be done gradually, especially if you are not yet used to this type of diet. This will prevent discomfort such as gas or bloating. It is also essential to drink plenty of water, which you already do, Bruno, because fiber needs liquid to work well in the body. Another positive aspect of fiber is that it helps control type 2 diabetes, a common condition in old age that is directly linked to cardiovascular risk. By keeping blood sugar levels stable, the heart suffers less long-term impacts. For those who don't know where to start, here's a practical tip. Try to include a source of fiber in every meal of the day. A little oatmeal for breakfast, beans for lunch, fruit with skin for an afternoon snack, and salad for dinner. These are small adjustments that, when added together, make a huge difference. Many people still have the idea that healthy food has to be boring, but with creativity, it is possible to combine flavor, tradition, and health in the same dish. You just need to know the right ingredients and learn how to combine them in a balanced way. And speaking of balance, one of the most critical points for heart health is what we use to flavor food: salt. Although it is present in almost every kitchen, too much of it can be extremely dangerous, especially in old age. In the next chapter, we will see how it is possible to season food with less salt and much more flavor, using herbs, spices, and simple tricks that make the meal tasty and healthy. After all, taking care of your heart does not mean eating without pleasure. Seasoning wisely. Less salt, more life. Salt is one of the most widely used seasonings in the world, and also one of the most dangerous when consumed in excess. Especially in old age, it can become a real enemy of the heart. This happens because salt in large quantities increases blood pressure, forcing the heart to work harder than it should. Over time, this overload can lead to problems such as heart failure, stroke, and heart attack. Therefore, one of the most important steps to taking care of cardiovascular health is learning how to reduce salt intake without sacrificing flavor. Many people associate reducing salt intake with bland food, but the truth is that there are dozens of ways to season food in a tasty way using natural ingredients that also provide extra health benefits. Fresh herbs such as basil, rosemary, oregano, parsley, and chives are excellent substitutes. They not only add flavor to food, but also have anti-inflammatory and digestive properties. In addition, spices such as turmeric, cumin, paprika, and black pepper help enhance the flavor of food and provide antioxidants. A powerful alternative to refined salt is the use of garlic and onion, which can be used raw or sautéed to create a rich and striking flavor base. Lemon juice and apple cider vinegar also help to add acidity to dishes, bringing more vivacity to the palate. To make things easier, here's a practical suggestion. Prepare a homemade spice mix to use on a daily basis. Blend or process 1 head of garlic, 1 medium onion juice of 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon olive oil, fresh or dried herbs to taste a pinch of saffron. Store it in a glass jar in the refrigerator and use it to season meat, vegetables, and rice. This way, you avoid using too much salt and also save time in the kitchen. Another point to watch out for is processed foods, which often contain hidden salt. Ready-made sauces, stock cubes, sausages, canned foods, and even bread can have high levels of sodium. Therefore, it is always worth reading the product labels and, whenever possible, opt for natural or homemade versions. The World Health Organization recommends consuming less than 5 grams of salt per day, the equivalent of a level teaspoon. However, a large part of the population consumes double or even triple that amount, and this doesn't just happen because of the salt we add when cooking, but because of all the products we use on a daily basis. Of course, changing this habit takes time, especially for those who are already used to the saltier taste. But the good news is that your taste buds adapt. In just a few weeks, you will notice that natural foods have much more flavor than they initially seemed. Have you tried reducing the amount of salt in your meals? Or do you have a tasty recipe that doesn't use refined salt? Tell us in the comments. Your ideas may inspire other people to take better care of their hearts too. Now that we've learned how to add flavor to food in a Healthier way, let's look at the other side of the coin, those foods that, despite being common, put your heart at risk. In the next chapter, you'll discover the main dietary villains and how to avoid them without giving up the pleasure of eating. Heart villains, foods that cause inflammation and should be avoided. Just as there are foods that act as true allies for the heart, there are also those that do exactly the opposite. They inflame, overload, clog, and weaken the cardiovascular system, especially as we age. And the most worrying thing is that many of these villains are present in common, everyday meals. Chronic inflammation is one of the human body's greatest silent enemies. When we eat certain types of foods frequently, we stimulate an inflammatory process that directly affects the arteries. Over time, this leads to the accumulation of fat in the walls of blood vessels, increased blood pressure, and uncontrolled cholesterol levels. One of the biggest culprits in this process is refined sugar, found in cakes, soft drinks, cookies, sweets, and processed foods. When consumed in excess, sugar raises blood glucose levels, overloads the pancreas, promotes weight gain, and creates an environment conducive to inflammation and hormonal imbalance. Another dangerous group of foods are ultra-processed foods, products with lots of additives, colorings, preservatives, and hydrogenated fats. Common examples include sausages, nuggets, industrialized hamburgers, snacks, ready-made sauces, and fast food. These items not only increase bad cholesterol levels, but also contribute to insulin resistance and premature aging of the cardiovascular system. Trans fats, for example, were artificially created to increase the shelf life of products. The problem is that they alter cellular structure and drastically increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Nowadays, many countries have restricted the use of these fats, but they can still be found in certain stuffed cookies, industrial cakes, and margarines. Another classic culprit is eating too much processed red meat, such as bacon, sausage, and ham. These products often contain large amounts of sodium, preservatives, and saturated fat, which in excess can build up in the arteries. Although occasional consumption is not a problem, frequent consumption can significantly increase cardiovascular risks. And we can't forget about fried foods. In addition to their high-calorie content, they are usually prepared with reused oils or at very high temperatures, which generates compounds that are toxic to the body. This type of preparation, common in fast food or everyday recipes, is harmful to heart health and also interferes with digestion and circulation. To make it easier to visualize, imagine two dishes side by side, one with white rice, fried sausage, and shoestring potatoes, the other with brown rice, grilled fish fillet, and zucchini sautéed in olive oil. The first, although more common, is low in fiber and high in sodium and fat. The second, lighter and more nutritious, provides everything the heart needs to function better. The good news is that avoiding these villains doesn't mean cutting out everything at once or giving up on eating well. It's about making more conscious choices, reducing the frequency of certain foods, and prioritizing ingredients that truly nourish you. A simple tip is to always read the labels on products in the supermarket. If the list of ingredients is long with names you don't recognize or that sound too chemical, this is already a warning sign. Now that we know what to avoid, let's learn how to put together a complete, colorful, and balanced meal, combining all the heart-protecting foods in a practical and tasty meal. In the next chapter, you will see that it is possible to eat well, with pleasure, and with purpose, putting together a hearty dish, balance, color, and flavor. Now that we know which foods protect the heart and which ones to avoid, it's time to put it all into practice. Putting together a balanced meal may seem complicated at first, but the truth is that you just need to follow a few simple proportions to ensure a healthy, colorful, and tasty meal. A good way to organize your plate is to imagine that it is divided into 3 parts. Half of the plate, 50%, should be made up of vegetables, raw, cooked, or sautéed. A quarter of the plate, 25%, should contain whole grain carbohydrates, such as brown rice, sweet potatoes, or cassava. The other quarter of the plate, 25%, should be reserved for lean proteins, such as fish, grilled chicken, or eggs. Let's put this into a practical example. Imagine a plate with broccoli and zucchini sautéed in olive oil, half. Brown rice, 1/4, and a grilled salmon fillet, another quarter. Simple, beautiful, balanced, and excellent for the heart. Vegetables provide fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that fight inflammation. Whole grain carbohydrates provide steady energy without glucose. Spikes. Lean proteins help maintain muscle mass, which is essential in old age, and they don't put a strain on the cardiovascular system. An important detail is the variety of colors on your plate. The more colorful, the greater the chance that you are including different nutrients. For example, orange fruits, like carrots and pumpkin, are rich in beta-carotene, which is good for your blood vessels. Dark greens, like spinach and kale, provide magnesium and calcium, which help control blood pressure. Red vegetables, like tomatoes and peppers, contain lycopene, a powerful antioxidant for the heart. For seasoning, continue to use natural herbs and spices. In addition to enhancing the flavor, they reduce the need for salt. A pinch of turmeric or a bay leaf in rice can make a difference in both taste and health. It's also worth thinking about how you prepare food. Always opt for lighter cooking methods, such as steaming, grilling, or baking. Avoid frying and sautéing heavy dishes with excess oil, and if you want to change things up, grilling vegetables in the oven with herbs and olive oil is a great way to escape the routine. Another practical tip is to plan your meals in advance. Having healthy ingredients on hand and already portioned makes it much easier to prepare them on a daily basis. For example, you can leave vegetables already washed and chopped in the refrigerator, or cook larger portions of brown rice to use on different days. And let's not forget about snacks and between meals. At these times, a handful of nuts, a slice of wholemeal bread with olive oil, or even a natural yogurt with chia can keep your energy levels stable without harming your heart. Many people think that eating well is hard work, but in reality, the secret is to create the habit and repeat it consistently. Over time, your taste buds adapt, preparation becomes faster, and your body begins to respond with more energy, less fatigue, and better test results. By the way, if you like these practical tips for creating your ideal dish, leave your like on the video. This will help spread this information to more people who also want to take care of their heart with simplicity and flavor. Taking care of your heart is much more than following rules or counting calories. It is a gesture of affection towards your own body. It is recognizing that each food choice can be a step towards a longer, more active, and better quality life. Throughout this video, you've seen that you don't need to make radical changes to protect your heart. Small changes, such as using olive oil instead of butter, choosing brown rice, reducing salt intake, or including more vegetables in your diet, can already generate big changes. And most importantly, all of this can be done with pleasure, respecting your tastes, your routine, and your history. Eating well doesn't have to be expensive, complicated, or boring. On the contrary, it can be simple, tasty, and deeply transformative. Remember, your heart beats for you every day without stopping. Maybe now is the time to repay this effort with more conscious choices made calmly and with affection. If this content helped you in any way, check if you are subscribed to the channel. That way, you will receive more tips like these, made with care and attention, especially for you.